What's up, fantasy champions? Spotlight Sports Network is excited to tell you about an amazing deal from Thrive Fantasy, your place for daily fantasy sports and esports. Right now with promo code SS Network, Thrive Fantasy will match up to $50 of your first deposit. So go to thrivefantasy.com and sign up now with promo code SS Network. That's thrivefantasy.com, promo code SS Network.
Hey guys, what is up, and welcome to MK Headlines Episode 9. We got a special guest with us today by the name of Hunter Brody from Brodes Media. How's it going, my guy? How you doing?
What's up, man? Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited, dude. We got a lot to talk about.
Oh my God, yeah. And apparently, Joe Judge just got fired.
Oh, really? Well, that's some big breaking news to start off the show, huh?
What the hell?
Let's see.
Wow, I thought that would never happen.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You know what? It's the right thing to do. As Eagles fans, we got to look at this with like our objectivity here and say, if the Giants are going to wipe clean and start fresh and bring in a new GM, this made the most sense for them. So it's putting themselves in the right track. Unfortunately for us, it's probably the best move.
I guess so. But he went for it on 3rd and 9 with a QB sneak.
You didn't like that play. I think Nick
I
Sirianni's going to have
I thought
that.
it was hilarious.
Nick Sirianni might have that in the playbook for next week.
I
don't think we'd be able to live with that here.
But anyways, really quick, I just want to ask you this. How'd you become a YouTuber, and then how'd you get into the radio scene? I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, so honestly, I will say I entered the YouTube world with the mindset of I want to do radio. So the way I looked at it when I started this about 4 years ago or so is I'm going to utilize this platform to not only just learn and just, utilize this as practice almost, but, I thought of it, there was one or two ways. It was, I'm going to build my own brand through the YouTube. And then at the same time, I want to use this as a lot of practice, use this as demo, use this as an opportunity to get to where I want to be. So it was sort of the mindset right from the jump is I want to do sports talk radio. And I know with the technology out there these days, this is definitely an opportunity to kind of do that. So I thought of it that way as I entered it all.
Yeah, I was watching on the Mike Muccinelli show. I'm like, wow, he really did it. Like, what? How long you been doing the radio then?
I worked at 97.3 ESPN down in Atlantic City for about 2 years, and then I've been at 97.5 The Fanatic coming up on about 10 months or so. So maybe about close to 3 years total doing actual sports talk radio. So,
oh my God. Wow. Did you just apply or they found you through YouTube?
I definitely reached out and did, I put demos together and I did a lot of networking within the business and I reached out to people that were involved in the business and, kind of just put my head down and made sure I spoke to the people that I needed to kind of get my foot in the door.
Wow. I mean, you're an inspiration to so many people. Like my guy Michael here. It's his dream to be on radio. So,
well, I appreciate that. I'm glad that I could definitely inspire people because that means a lot for sure. It really does.
Yeah. So let's just get right into the Eagles and Buccaneers. I didn't think we'll be able to make the playoffs. Did you in the beginning of the season?
No, I didn't. Honestly, in the beginning of the year, I saw them as a 6-win team, but I did say multiple times I thought that this would be a team that would progress throughout the season. So you might look at 6 wins before we saw how it actually broke down and think, oh, only 6 wins. But I thought by the end of the season, we would feel good and comfortable moving forward with Nick Sirianni. So it would somewhat progress like we saw. I just didn't envision the win total that it was. So we'd see things that we liked. We'd see ourselves. Because if you remember, when we went 7-9 with Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz, no one really wanted to move forward with Doug, but they were excited about Carson. I thought it would be the opposite here, which was people would be excited about Nick Sirianni, but maybe feel a certain way about Jalen Hurts and look in a different direction that way. But instead, it's kind of, look, we're excited about both of them. So to answer your question, no, I didn't see that, and it's okay to feel that way. I think heading into it, to say you saw this coming, maybe you did, but it's not ridiculous to think that you didn't either, if that makes sense.
No. I'm like one of those realistic fans, so I had it going 9-8, and wow, I'm right. But I didn't think we were going to make it to the playoffs, and you had like these content creators going like 14-3, 15-2, stuff like that. And I'm like, I can't stand those people. I just can't.
Yeah, once you get to that level, and I'm not going to tell people you have to feel a certain way. If you want to be an optimistic fan, look, I'll take that over being the opposite, which is a brutal negative fan that thinks they're going to win 2 football games. So I'll take that any day of the week. But I just feel, every year you enter the season thinking they're going to win 13 games or so. You're kind of setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think it's something. And with Jalen Hurts, it really divided the fan base. Like, people are against Jalen Hurts. People are on the fan of him. What do you think about Jalen Hurts? Like, you like his play this year?
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt. And I'll admit, in the beginning of the season, I did not know what to expect. Now, I thought that he'd be able to, this is what I honestly believed. I thought he'd put us in a spot where he would do enough to keep us right there, but we know that there's some issues. But I will say that while that's kind of where we are, he's done a lot more positives than I thought. By the end, he's sitting in the pocket, he's reading through his progressions, and he was taking those steps necessary to make me believe that there's more in there than I thought in the beginning. So I'm watching him look through his reads, and before in the past, he'd probably take off after his first read wasn't available. Now he's looking through, he's finding Quez Watkins, he's reading through everything and scanning the field the way that he needs to instead of just taking off. And it helps when you have one of the most dominant offensive lines in the entire league. And ironically enough, you're going up this week against arguably the one that's right in the conversation with you, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it's going to be fascinating to see which offensive line holds better, because both are very, very extremely talented, and that does Jalen Hurts a service for sure when you feel you have Kelsey, you have Mailata, and you have Lane Johnson protecting you at all costs. And I don't want to downplay the guards by any means, but it starts with those 3 guys. And, I think that's a big reason why he was able to grow this year, is because he knew that he had legitimate studs standing in front of him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the offensive line is huge. But for most people, the accuracy and the location on the field, finding the open man, is like his biggest gripe, and people won't let that go. And I'm not one of those people. I'm like 50-50. So it's just like that develops, but it's just like people get annoyed.
Yeah, and it's fair to say that he's not perfect right now, and that's just reality of the situation. But he's also in his first year starting, and as his look, I guess I don't want to put him on the level because the ceiling isn't as high as what I'm about to say. But right now, we're watching Joel Embiid at age 27. And I remember when he was 23, people screaming that he had to go win you a championship. And my point is, especially in the NBA, it's a grown man's league. When you're 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, that's those prime years to make that push. When you're 23, 24, 25, that's your years to like, okay, let me understand and digest what this league is all about. It's going to take time to accumulate all of that information and data to apply to my off seasons to make sure I get to the level that I need to be. And I'm not telling you the difference is Jalen Hurts' ceiling is nowhere close to where Joel Embiid is in the NBA, but it still stays true that there's a process involved in any of these athletes, and you can't demand instant results, where if you just stay back to September with Jalen Hurts and you see where he is now as we're in January, it's a clear difference that he has improved in many areas. And if you just use that as a trajectory, at some point, yes, he will hit a ceiling and he'll never be an elite thrower. And that's okay. But if he's a good thrower on top of his utilization of his legs, then we have something to work with.
Yeah, and amazing is he has 10 rushing touchdowns and he's a Pro Bowl alternate. I mean, not a lot of people can have like 10 rushing touchdowns, 19 regular touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions. Like, this guy played out of his mind, in my opinion. I got mad at him at one time, but
sure, yeah, that's fine. You're allowed to criticize and analyze without going overboard to the point where you're screaming that he no longer needs to be here, right? And I think you hit on something with just the lack of turnovers. And I hate to tie this to what we saw on Sunday with Indianapolis, but Carson Wentz was very prone to putting the ball on the floor, and he threw an interception and he had a sack fumble, while Jalen Hurts had a really poor performance against the Giants where he threw 3 interceptions. And don't get me wrong, there have been some balls where there were 50-50 balls and it could have went either way, but that's any quarterback in this league. His playmakers just went up and grabbed the football for him. He does not turn the ball over and put your team in a position to fail, and that's huge. I mean, keep the rock in your hands and you're going to be in a good position to succeed.
Yeah, definite. I mean, it's good, but people are just like, I get tired of the fan base. Like, they want to win right now. They want everything instant, but it doesn't happen in an instant. You got to let it develop and see what they do.
I agree with you. And I realize, too, that, if you're going to allow, and I know it's hard to do, and sometimes I let it start a little fuel into my fire and my gut starts to get going when I think about it. But sometimes I just put the fan base aside and say, okay, it is what it is. Fans are going to react a certain way. And to a degree, like, I mean, I'm a fan of the Eagles. I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of the Eagles. I root for them to win. I root for them to succeed. So I am an Eagles fan as well. But, there's always going to be the side that it's just about screaming with the winds and just letting their emotions rock. And there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm just saying that for you, where don't let that dictate your feeling. Don't let them piss you off so much. Don't let that outrage and those thoughts take you to this obnoxious level that impacts what you're doing. Put that to the side and say, screw it. This is how I feel. This is how I objectively analyze it. I don't care what Jim Bob and Bill Smith and anybody else thinks, because this is the way I feel about it. I've learned that a little while back, and that's definitely helped me out throughout this process.
Yeah, tell them it's not an oatmeal, grits, or potatoes. It's not instant. You're right. It's not instant at all. Yeah. So Devontae Smith, like, he broke Deshaun Jackson's record. I see a bright future for this kid. I see a very bright future.
He's no joke. And the one thing that I really like to analyze when he's out there, and it's the little things, right? I mean, there's a lot of guys in this league that are fast. And then there's a lot of guys in this league that are fast and can catch the football. And then there starts to become those details that take you to the next level. And in his first year, he's already rocking those details. For example, his ability to toe tap is just elite. And the fact that he does it the way that he does, I can't wait for him to even get smoother at it, to the point where you're mind blown and they're zooming in to the nth degree to see the mini amount of turf that's in between his foot and the sidelines. The fact that he's dialed it into this elite level already, it really does blow my mind. And then his route running ability. It doesn't even make sense how clean and crisp it is and how he can gather separation. You saw it the game against Dallas to break the record, where he was running, he put a stop on real hard, came back towards the sidelines, went up and grabbed the football and stayed in bounds. This kid is truly special, and the ceiling is no joke. I had on Jason Avant, former Eagle wide receiver, and he said that his comparison that he thinks could possibly be a Chad Ochocinco type wide receiver, and that would be a beautiful thing to see in Philly.
My God. Can you imagine that? And then, yeah. Just, do you think we should trade for Calvin Ridley? Because that's been like going around everything. I think we do. I feel like we do, because we have Whiteside, Ward, Rager. I feel like we need another wide receiver to go next to Devontae Smith.
We definitely need another wide receiver. If it's Calvin Ridley, then okay, yeah, I'm not against it. Obviously, any help is significantly better than the names that you just spewed out there. We know Jalen Reagor has nowhere been near close enough to our liking, and seriously just can't play that position for us right now. So, and I like Quez Watkins, but you definitely need a veteran player to pot on the other side of Devontae. So whether it's Calvin Ridley or somebody else, I just think what you need to gather is someone that could be a veteran in that wide receiver room and really help out just just from that professionalism standpoint. I like Calvin Ridley. I would not be disappointed whatsoever if it was Calvin Ridley. Of course, compensation matters and things of that nature with Howie Roseman, but I think you need to grab someone who's been around the block, that has some miles on the tires, not anything crazy. I don't want to go through another Deshaun Jackson. You can't rely on that individual type of player, but someone who has established himself in this league that would be a real true pro threat on the opposite side. And that would just be unbelievable for Jalen Hurts and just the growth for him too. I mean, think about Jalen Hurts' growth. We keep talking about it. To have someone reliable on the other side to make it right now, it's just Smith and Dallas Goedert. For wide receivers, it is. But Watkins isn't at that level yet. It's really just a two-man game right now in that passing game. We start adding more players, and who knows where this can go.
Yeah, and especially the fact that Ridley played football at Alabama with Hurts and Devontae Smith already. So that's also a good thing to see. They still have that chemistry.
Oh, that always helps, for sure. When you know guys, when you know players, you go into that locker room, it's way easier to – and it's professional sports, so don't get me wrong. You go in there and you know what it's all about. But it's a lot easier when you're around people that you're comfortable with and you got boys with you and, you start communicating way before you probably normally would if you didn't know anyone. And I do think that there's probably some conversations maybe happening. Jalen Hurts with Nick Sirianni, like, hey, what do you think about him? What do you think we can do? This and that. And I'm sure all good words are being said, of course. But, yeah, there's definitely an element of that.
Yeah, definite. So, Tyree, we don't have another tight end, and Tyree Jackson's out for the year. ACL.
So Richard Rodgers he actually got called up to the roster there. Richard Rodgers will be tight end number 3. And if you remember last time he had to play for you, which was last year, he actually had some games. It seems like whenever he gets his number called, he's there and he's active for you and he's able to make some plays for you. So not that I anticipate Richard Rodgers being much. You have Goddard, you have Stoll as number 2, but you just never know because he's been around the block and he's been out there before in some big moments. So it's just, I wouldn't be surprised, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, Rodgers was clutch. Easier said than done. And we have the best run game in NFL. I did not think that would happen after the start of this season. And then the Flowers press conference came, and then that turned it around. We won 7 out of last 9. So it's just like, what the hell? We're in those Flowers.
Well, they committed to a lifestyle that they didn't early on. Nick Sirianni implemented a game plan revolving around Jalen Hurts throwing the football. And I can't necessarily hate him for thinking a certain way about an offense in 2021-22. When you think about NFL football, it's clear that passing the football is the way of life nowadays. But I think at some point you got to realize that that's not the strengths of what we do. And I will praise Nick Sirianni for this. One message that he stayed very, very true to early on was we're going to coach to our player strengths. Forget a system. Forget this is what I believe in. This is what I'm going to do. It will be incorporated based off of the personnel that we have. Now, I thought it took too many weeks to get to that, but he did eventually get to that. And once he did, their offensive line just dominated to an unbelievable level. They got their run game going, and they were torching defenses like the New Orleans Saints that nobody thought was capable of doing because eventually, and I was one of these people to a degree, you think it'll catch up to you at some point. At some point, that run game will be stopped, and it's not the case when your offensive line wins the battles as much as they possibly do.
Right. Can you imagine if we were running the ball like this in the beginning of the year? We could have won that 49ers game. We could have beat that Giants game. We could have won 2 or 3 more games. That would have been insane.
It's definitely possible. I also feel, though, you're not wrong that maybe some of these outcomes would be different. Here's what I'll say, though. I think it's important to note that would Nick Sirianni be who he is now if he didn't go through what he went through? I feel there's purposes for that happening. I'll go back to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid losing Game 7 on the road to Kawhi Leonard and that shot that happened in Toronto. I don't think we have the Joel Embiid that we have now if that did not happen. So there's a whole cause and effect, and there's reasons and there's purposes for things to occur. And part of the Nick Sirianni era that we're witnessing here in Philly, by the end of it, we might look back at those first 5, 6, 7 weeks of his first year in Philadelphia, and maybe there's validity to seeing growth based off of the decisions that he made then and how he's improved week in and week out to be the head coach that he is right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's in talks for Coach of the Year, like in consideration, like top 5. That's impressive for the first year.
Yeah, I don't think he'll land it, and
Mm-mm.
I don't want to say that in a negative way by any means. I think he did a good job. I think he did a good job, but I can't sit here and tell you fully what he is yet. I don't know, and it's not just the fact that I have to see him play in a playoff game. It's way more than that. I like him, and I'm way more intrigued than not. There's no way in hell that you could ever look at this as a negative thing whatsoever. If you ask me, can you describe Nick Sirianni? I don't know if I have enough information yet to tell you what type of coach I see him as for the long term. I like where we're at, and I'm very thrilled that we're sitting in this spot right now. I don't want that to get taken out of context. But I mean, you're talking specifically this season, so even if you just look at it within regards to what type of seasons coaches had this year, he's outside looking in. It's comparable to Aaron Nola the year he was voted for Cy Young winner. Yeah, he was the third vote. He had no chance of winning number 1, but it's a nice little hat tip. It's a nice little, hey, we saw what you did this year and we respect what you did this year. There's just a little bit better out there this season.
Yeah. So, really quick, last thing on the Eagles before we go to the Sixers, because there was a big news that happened today with the Sixers. The defense. What does Jonathan Gannon have to do against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers?
Well, I'll tell you what he can't do. He can't sit back like he did those first handful of weeks where you're playing the shell, you're sitting in the zone, and you're relaxing, and you're just going to play the mentality of, we'll wait for them to make a mistake because more plays equals more possibilities of mistakes. You're playing Tom Brady, right? So the problem is this defensive front, it hasn't been as lethal as I would like it to be. It doesn't bring as much as I would want it to bring. So with that said, you might have to bring some pressure. Well, I hate to break it to you. Tom Brady's numbers against the blitz, it's solid. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He sniffs out the blitz, and he takes advantage of it, and he'll find his guys. The difference right now, though, is there's no Godwin, and they have some players that are banged up, so maybe, just maybe, there might be something that is a bit of a drop-off. I doubt it. We're talking about the best quarterback to ever live, but there is that into the conversation for sure. So to answer your question, what do you have to do? I think you have to try and bring pressure because I'll live with the attempt compared to sitting back and just dying by 1,000 paper cuts. You can't have a Justin Herbert, a Derek Carr type night where a Pat Mahomes where they don't punt, right? Pat Mahomes, they're not punting the football. You can't get off the field. They're taking 7 minutes off the clock and they're going down and scoring every time. That's unacceptable. So if you get beat by being a bit more aggressive and putting your foot on the gas and attempting to throw some waves his way, maybe you send Alex Singleton up the middle, or maybe you get some creativity involved and Avonte Maddox gets sent and you just try something and it ends up getting beat, I can at least acknowledge that he's not sitting back into that zone because the last thing I will be okay with is that.
Yeah. So, bro, man, I'm not even an Eagles fan, but I love Sixers, Flyers, and Phillies, but I watch your videos and it inspires me. Keep grinding, bro.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do. It means a lot to hear the kind words. It really does. I don't even think I can put it into a sentence sometimes on the love and support. So thank you for those kind words. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah. So big news happened with the Sixers today. They're attaching Tobias Harris with the Ben Simmons trade packages. Now, people are like 50-50. What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
If Daryl Morey can get rid of Tobias Harris, he's going to get rid of Tobias Harris. Here's where I have the problem with the package together. It's like $70 million. I don't know. And I get it. 3-team trades, this and that. It just seems a little too aggressive for me to think that you're going to be able to move both of them in the same deal. Can you move them in separate deals? I mean, I guess anything is possible, and I won't rule anything out. But we're struggling to find a way to trade Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons. And say what you want here. He's horrible. He sucks. There's a reason why no one wants him. No, people want him. He is a 6'10" point guard that is very unique, and there's a lot of organizations out there that can't land free agents. They're not big markets who would take anything in the world to have a Ben Simmons spark the life of a fan base, bring ticket sales, jersey sales. The list goes on and on about Ben Simmons. So the fan perspective and the NBA fan perspective compared to the NBA inside perspective is two totally different things. And that's why, if you're struggling to move Ben Simmons right now, it's going to be difficult to move Tobias Harris too. My thought on it is if you can get rid of both of them, I'm not against it. Tobias Harris and that cap is absolutely killing you. With that said, though, it's too much money to think you're moving in one deal. I don't know how that's possible.
I don't either. It's got to be a 3-team deal. It's got to be.
Yeah, but even if it is 70, it's what, 35? It's like $65 million being moved within 2 people. And when you have to max some of the contracts the way that you do, it feels nearly impossible to me. But we'll see.
I mean, oh my gosh. It's like, how this contract is like so absurd. It's like, I can't even believe that this is real. And people are telling me, Mitch, if we trade Tobias, might as well go into rebuild mode again. And I'm like, probably
No,
will have to go to rebuild.
There's no such thing as rebuild mode when you have Joel Embiid playing the way that he's playing right now. This is the level of superstar talent that wills you a championship. When you talk about LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, the way Joel Embiid is playing right now is in that tier. It's not just below it. It's not a tick below. It's that tier. So there is no rebuilding when you have this is what you need to win the title. That right there. You have it, and it's so hard to find it. So the fact that you do, I'm not saying you give up Ben Simmons for nothing because that ain't the answer. You play the way that Daryl Morey's playing it right now, which is you hold out until you find that talent to match with Joel Embiid to get the best you possibly can and maximize your return, even if it takes into next offseason and it takes into the NBA draft and this whole year is without him. It might be the best decision for them long term. You don't just get rid of Ben just to do it because something is better than nothing. That something still might not be good enough, and I'm willing to hold out to find if you can get what's good enough. But there's no rebuild when this is the special talent you have in Joel. This is the real deal. This is championship caliber superstar player right now, and it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, 7 straight games at 30-plus points. Like, you have a guy who's basically a point guard center now, point center. He's looking for open men. He can do it all. Take you in the post, fade away, mid-range, 3-point. Like, he can do it all. Like, I met him at, like, one of the places I worked at a couple years ago. I was looking up. We were just talking basketball and whatnot. And then once he left, I couldn't move. My neck was stuck. So I talked to someone who's 7'3". I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big dude for sure. When I covered the Sixers for 97.3, I had the opportunity to see him pregame warming up and hanging around the court, and yeah, he's a massive human being. And you nailed it with the whole point guard thing. It's this team. He's doing this right now with this team without a guard. That doesn't even make sense. I think we're just taking that for granted right now and pretending like that's normal, that you pluck your point guard off that's been your point guard for years, and oh, by the way, your center is now running your entire offense and actually running up and down the floor as the number one guy. It doesn't make any sense. And by the way, he started playing basketball at 15, 16 years old. None of this is comprehensible, and that's what even makes my mind more into a pretzel when I try and process who Joel Hans Embiid even is.
Right. So I know you got to leave in a couple minutes, so I just want to say thank you for coming on. Like, you're a real inspiration to so many people. People here in the comments said it. I see it on Twitter. Like, you're killing it. Thank you.
Thank you, man. No, thanks for reaching out. I had a blast for sure, and I just want to thank everybody who's listening. And I'm glad that I can definitely inspire people because, look, I had a goal one day of wanting to do sports talk radio, and I never really thought about maybe the impact that would land on others out there that are trying to accomplish the same goal, or even if it's not the same goal specifically, it's just their version of what I wanted to do, whether it's fashion or music or whatever. It's not just this job that we do, but it's just their inspiration in general and the pursuit to get there. And the words are just unbelievable. I know that's kind of how I've been explaining, but it truly is the word I use to describe it. It's hard to even fathom at times.
Mm-hmm. And I actually know are you related to Evan Brody?
Yeah.
I went to school with him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, East.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Cherry Hill East. Yes, Evan is my
cousin. He's a great hiring me. He's a great hiring me.
Yeah, he's my cousin.
Yeah.
How about that? It's a small world.
Funny.
Yeah, that is a small world. I'll let him know that I definitely shot the shit with you a little bit, talking some sports.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for coming on again, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yep. I'll talk to you later, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep. Wow. What a great guy, guys. What a great guy. So, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Spotlight Sports Network. We have every sport covered. We got basketball, football, watch play-by-play, soccer, hockey. We got it all. So subscribe to them. The link is in the description. All right. With that being said, let's read some comments here. The NBA wants the Lakers to win. Buddy Hield somehow will be with LeBron this season. I can definitely see that. LeBron, whatever LeBron wants, LeBron gets. Think about it. He wanted Westbrook. And then he got him. He wanted Kevin Love with the Cavs. Got him. He wanted who do you want on the Heat? He wanted to pair up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He got him. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that LeBron wants he gets. Paul Reed and Ben Simmons for Brandon Ingram. I like that. Maybe Brandon Ingram, I mean, he is a scorer we could use. But Paul Reed, I love his future, man. I love his potential. I just love everything about this guy. Like, I do. Tobias Harris for Kevin Love and Sexton. And do not care that Sexton's out of the season. I mean, I love Sexton, dude. I freaking love Sexton. I mean, he's a scorer you need. And same with Darius Garland. I mean, I would love to have either one of those guys. Like, seriously. Thank you, Spotlight. Thank you. If you want to come in, I'm going to drop the link in a little bit for people to come in and talk. But what really is bothering me about the Sixers right now is the whole Tobias Harris situation. This whole thing is bothering me like there's no tomorrow. Think about it. We make this huge trade to get Tobias Harris, right? To be that second guy. He's not living up to the hype of the second option one. Two, he's not scoring like it this season. Last season, he was an all-star potential. He was a true second option last year. But this year, right now, he is not a second option in my opinion. He is not. Sure, he has 18 points per game. I can't see him closing it out when I need the most. We don't have a closer. Joel Embiid, that's like our best closer. When Joel Embiid is out, who is that guy to step up? Maxey? Curry? You're paying all this money for Tobias Harris. And I'm like, okay, we got Doc Rivers. Tobias Harris should work well, right? In my opinion, no. And I have to agree with Brodes here. I do. If you have Joel Embiid, there's no such thing as a rebuild. There is no such thing as a rebuild with Joel Embiid as your star player. There is not. Sure, some of the players you trade do all better, right? Jimmy Butler. Apparently, he didn't want to be with Brett Brown, which I kind of knew. I thought it was more like a Ben Simmons thing, but he didn't want to be with Brett Brown. Then you had Iguodala. You trade him to the Warriors, but think about it. Who's ever on the Warriors, they're going to be good no matter what. No matter what you had. Like, look at Kevin Looney. Like, he was the starting center for that team with Steph, Clay, Durant, and Draymond. Like, automatically in there. Markelle Fultz. He got injured. He did do good. He did do well. But he got injured, so I can't put him in that category. I need to see him healthy for a full year. For a full year, then I can make my thing about Markelle Fultz. And then here's the thing with Doc Rivers. He's not coaching like he did last year. Something is wrong here with Dan Burke. He got us to win against the Brooklyn Nets. So I'm here saying Doc Rivers needs to go. And you can't package Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons in the team. You can't. You basically can't. Daryl Morey, you got to trust him. You got to trust Daryl Morey here. If it wasn't for Morey trading away Al Horford, right, his bad contract, for Danny Green, I think, and then we traded Josh Richardson for Seth Curry. Look how well that trade turned out. We won that trade. Seth Curry over there, Josh Richardson over there, he got moved to be to Boston. So I'm like, we won that trade there. So I trust Daryl Morey. He's one of the best GMs in the freaking league. In the freaking league, he's one of the best GMs of basketball operations, whatever you want to call it. So for me, I feel like we gotta get rid of him. He's not playing well. And all those players, except for Jimmy Butler. Iguodala, he did not play well on the Sixers. I don't think he did play well on the Sixers. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Did Iguodala play well on the Sixers? Young Iguodala. Did he play well on the Sixers? Please let me know. Please let me know. Guys, if you haven't already, please smash the like button on the YouTube. Please smash the like button on the Facebook page, on the Spotlight Facebook page, my page, the Philly Talk with MK. Like, give me all the likes, subscriptions. Let's get this out. Let's get this out. So apparently there was breaking news earlier. Joe Judge got fired. Now, I thought they weren't going to fire him. I really didn't. But look, when you do a QB sneak on 3rd and 9 on your own 3 or 4 yard line, you deserve to go. You deserve to go. Now, here's the thing. Who's the next coach? Harbaugh? Gannon? Peterson? Who's the next head coach there? Who's the next head coach for the New York Giants now? I just want to know. Who's the next head coach for the New York Giants? Someone can't be a yes man over there. You got to say, I want it this way, or don't give me the job. Like, I got to be that way. It's got to be my way or the highway. I don't want to hear, oh, you got this, you got that, you got this and that, this and that. No, it's got to be his way or the highway. So, I'm actually shocked. I wanted him to say because he's our rival. Like, he's the New York Giants head coach. So, he's like, stay. They're not winning games. They're playing table with him. Just keep it. Just like their quarterback situation. I want them to keep the whole quarterback situation. Keep all their quarterbacks there. Like, yeah, they got to hire a GM first. Exactly. Yes, Grand Eisen. Thank you. Oh, we got somebody. Raiders. Saw your video today, man.
Man, I just dropped another video, man. So,
my phone's on Do Not Disturb.
It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. You don't got to worry about it, bruh.
But look, Brodes he's so smart. Like, whatever he's doing, he's the man.
Yeah.
Like,
hold up. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to take this green screen off.
You're good.
I don't have my actual lighting in here, so I'm just not trying to have a green screen at all. You'll just go up to see the background. I really do not care at this point. I'm a Raider and Eagle fan at the same time.
So, was there anything that Brody said that you agreed with? Was there anything he said?
I wasn't there for the whole interview, but what I can say about the whole Joel Embiid thing, understand that he says that there's no rebuild with Joel Embiid, but I mean, if you do trade, that's why I kind of wish I would have came up at the time that he was up here so I could give him a better understanding on why I said it will be a rebuild mode, because I feel like if you get rid of Tobias Harris, and you go out and get players that's not as valuable or not as better as Tobias Harris, what does that do for Embiid? That means Embiid would be a one-man wrecking crew, and you really don't have nobody else to really step up. You don't know what you're going to get from Steph Curry every single night. You don't know what you're going to get from Maxey every single night. You don't know what you're going to get from Andre Drummond every single night. So it's questions all across the board there. If you get rid of Tobias Harris, if you're going to get Tobias, if you're going to trade him with Ben Simmons, you got to get something back in return for Tobias Harris, at least better or at least equal.
Yeah, I agree with that. I said that in my video today. Like, we're not just going to get him for anything. Like, is there any players out there that you could see match? I was thinking like Karis LeVert, but again, it's his injury.
I'm kind of nervous about Karis LeVert too, because with that, he had that injury. I mean, not the injury, but that health condition with his heart. That's my only issue with Karis LeVert. The only person that I could really say that could go and take Tobias' spot is Brandon Ingram. That's just me and my personal opinion. Brandon Ingram is a guy that could score and shoot the basketball just as good as Tobias Harris, can rebound, can play defense, and you're going to get the same equal amount of points a night if you decide to, trade. But my thing is this though: if you want to bring in Brandon Ingram, who else you're going to bring in? Because mind you, we're not giving you 2 for 1. It's going to have to be an even trade or a 3-way trade or something like that. That we have to get more just a Brandon Ingram if we want to get rid of two players on our roster.
Right, Mitch. Have you heard who the Giants want to hire as their GM? I have not, and I don't know who will be there. I mean, yes, they fired. Gettleman retired, right? And then they got
Gettleman retired, and Joe Judge just got fired today.
Yeah. As soon as my show started, my chat was like, he got fired. I'm like, wait.
Oh
what?
man, Bad Dog just went live, and that thing is berserk right now. The way he just got fired. I was not see the thing about it is though, I did not expect Joe Judge to be fired this year. I thought he was going to be fired next year, but hey, it happens. You just never know with the NFL. He met with the Giants yesterday. He thought he had a job, and then boom, you're fired. I mean, damn.
Right. It's just like, dude, like 3rd and 9 QB sneak. That really did it.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to my boy Mike Hughes over there at ASAP Sports Network. He is interviewing right now Patrick Winslow, the third baseman of the Chicago Cubs. So definitely go check him. I'll definitely go check him out if y'all want to. That's my boy over there. That's only some of the people that I do affiliate myself with when it comes to ASAP. So shout out to him. I didn't expect that to happen, but hey,
wow, that's huge.
The fact that we have Brodes on the show today, man, like Bros, if you watch this later on, bro, I'm just gonna let you know that was me that said that in the comments. That was me, because that's one thing about it. I know I'm a Raider fan and I'm supposed to be supporting all the Raiders content creators, but I support sports talk. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I want to be in the same field as Bros. You know what I'm saying? I want to make it to that level. That guy has the voice. He has the energy. He has the personality. I know my personality probably going to have to change a lot, because our personalities are totally different. Because you know me, Mitch. You know me. I can be an ass sometimes. I really can be. But that's where I want to go. That's where I want to go with it. And Bros, if you are watching this, I hope you follow us on Spotlight Sports Network, on Twitter at SL Sports Network. Appreciate you coming up to the show on MK Headlines, man. That was really big. That was really, really big.
Yeah. Thank you, man. And I knew his cousin, so I'm like, I had to like tie the ends.
Get the connection. Right.
I didn't even ask him. I was just like, why the hell not? I wanted
So how do you feel about this, Mitch? How you feel about Jonathan Gannon getting some coaching interviews? How you feel about that, especially with the Denver Broncos?
Take them. Take them. That's all I gotta say. That is all I gotta say. I was on a stream with Eagles Uncensored, and he's like, Mitch, if we win the whole thing, he's still gone, right? He's still gone. So I'm just like, yeah, he doesn't blitz. And I'm just like telling myself, what do these people see in him that I don't? What do these teams see in him that I don't? Like, I watch the games every single day. So what are they seeing? I wanted New York Giants to stay because Tim from Online Big Blue whole show was complaining about Joe Judge. Sorry but this was too repetitive to constantly cry about the obvious problem. All right. But yeah, what are they seeing, Spotlight, that I'm not seeing with Jonathan Gannon?
You're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing with Jonathan Gannon as Gus Bradley. You're seeing the same exact thing, man. You're seeing the guy does not, I mean, he brings pressure, he brings pressure with 4. That's one thing I can say about Gus Bradley. We do get to the quarterback a little bit more than what Philadelphia does. But I think with the talent that Philadelphia has, Gannon has to be a bit creative. I just don't want Gannon. He got to be creative with the athlete that he have, because Gus Bradley, they're right. Him and Jonathan Gannon is right back to back when it comes to percentages in blitzes. They're really back to back, and you saw it Sunday night on why I say what I say about Gus Bradley. Y'all see, the same way you feel about Jonathan Gannon. Just imagine Jonathan Gannon being a defensive coordinator for the Raiders and giving up 4th and 10s, 4th and 10s, 4th and 10s, 4th and 21s. Mitch, you will be the way I was on Sunday night, bro. You will be
4th and 21.
4th and 21. We gave up a touchdown on 4th and 21.
Oh my God. Well, it's Herbert. It's Herbert,
but still, it's 4th and 21. It reminds me of the 4th and 26 in Philadelphia.
I was there.
That's what I'm saying. It's just something that's in this league you just don't allow to happen. It just doesn't allow it to happen. But just imagine if your Eagles defense gave up a 4th and 21. I understand it's Tom Brady, but it's 4th and 21. Come on.
But for me, it's like if Jonathan Gannon is let go, I still don't know who to go after. I don't know.
It's a lot of assistants that's probably going to be fired. You got to think about it too. When the head coach gets fired, that staff gets fired too. So you're going to see a lot of different. You might see a lot of different coaches. Joe Judge is back out there now. Todd Bowles is back out there right now. Brian Flores, he's getting, I'm not going to say Doug Peterson because you definitely need a defensive type of coach, because Doug Peterson is definitely out of there. He's not coming back to Philly. You do, you got the defensive, I think it's the defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier from the Buffalo Bills. That's another one. So you got some assistants out there. It's just that you got to see who's going to fit the actual system in Philadelphia and what they want to do. Because offensively, I think y'all found the formula when it comes to running the football. I think that is the formula. I think Sirianni has learned that to win in this league, you have to run the football effectively. And same thing for the Las Vegas Raiders. The last 4 weeks, Josh Jacobs have stepped up in his last 4 weeks. So it's showing that having a running back and having an effective running game would definitely help you win more games. And that's why Sirianni and the Eagles are in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, it's just basic defense, I guess. But when you do a cover 4 on a 30-yard line, what? Who does that?
Just imagine trying to do a cover 4 on 3rd and 3. It just doesn't make sense. Because Bradley does the same thing. If we're 3rd and 3, why are our corners is 7 yards back on a 3rd and 3? Come on. It's just simple football that a lot of these coaches, they understand the analytics. They understand everything that goes on. Yes, analytics is good, but you have to be more realistic while you're doing the analytics, meaning that some things just have to be simplified.
Yeah.
I understand you get paid millions and millions of dollars, and this organization pay you mad money to do things analytical, but some things in football don't have to be analytical. You have to make sure that if it's a 3rd and 3 and you got 7 yards back on your corners, that means that you do not trust. No, you're good. You do not trust your corners if they got to play 7 yards back. And they're going to run the ball on 3rd and 3. It's weird. It's
the
weird.
The Eagles are 10 yards back. The quarterbacks are 10 yards back.
I mean, how can you really be 10 yards back when you're in the red zone? I'm just saying.
No, I mean, not in the red zone part. I'm just talking about.
Oh, not in the red zone part. Okay. I think the Eagles really do well between midfield and the 20-yard line. I think it's from the 20 to the end zone is where the issue is. For me, I think when that team gets to the 50, y'all really buckle down from the 50 to the 20 in between those lines. But when it comes to red zone, totally different, bro. I'm like, it's the same thing with the Raiders. Like, if you notice, all 3 quarters in Sunday night's game, we dominated. We scored 29 points. They only had 14, and look what happened. They came back in the fourth, and that was one of the worst fourth quarter collapse. That game should have not been in overtime, and that's just what defense. What kind of defense does the Eagles run again? I kind of feel they run what Gus Bradley run. That's a 4-2-5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
sometimes y'all do have 3 linebackers.
It's non-aggressive.
At least y'all have 3 linebackers out there. We only have 2.
Our linebackers suck.
Yeah, but this is my thing. You run a 4-2-5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you have a good front 4. But just imagine if you're running a stretch play on a 4-2-5. Linebacker scrapes down. You have your backside linebacker scrapes down. Cutback lane, there's no backside linebacker on a cutback. You see what I'm saying? It's the little things. It's the little things that this is not just for the Raiders, but this is just in general as football knowledge of the game. If you're a guy and you're a defensive coordinator and you know a team loves to run the ball effectively, having like a Joe Mixon where we're going to have on Saturday that likes to cut back, you're going to want to have 3 linebackers out there. So if both of your linebackers overflow, you have a backside outside linebacker that can help you and save your ass. It's just simple as that.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, Robert? How you doing, man?
What's going on, Mitch?
None of much. We just had Brodes on here. A great guy. Like, that
Brodes
guy's
is awesome, bro.
He's a huge inspiration, like, to so many people. Like,
trust me, I keep up to date on his. Like, his energy is second to none when it comes to like, Philly sports content. Dude, the fact that he goes on the
content, it's just sports content in general. Like, his voice just gives you that.
Like that
gives you that real Philly grit. Like, he's really a Philly fan. Like, I will sock the shit out of you type of. He gives you that type of vibe.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? Because Eric and Joy were going back at it because of the rivalries between USC and Notre Dame. You ever listen to him play?
Oh,
I don't
God.
hear no more about USC. Jesus.
I'm done with USC. I'm done. Like, I don't want to hear any more about his Lakers. None of that. If he comes in here, he's not talking any of that.
Shout out to Brodes. He's really grinding because he went from being on MK headlines and now he just uploaded a video saying Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers need to fail first.
Oh, shoot. Yeah,
I did drop my Brian Flores interviewing for the Bears. So, I know Goalie's going to be happy.
So here's a question for you, Spotlight. What keys to victory for Las Vegas against the Bagels? What are the keys to the victory?
Don't give up fourth quarter collapses.
Okay.
And don't forget the fourth
collapses. If we could contain Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been sacked the most out of any quarterback. He has been sacked the most out of any quarterback this year.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to Joe Burrow. So if you have the Yannick Ngakoue's and the Max Crosby of the world, we know that Darius Philon is done for the year. We end up picking up nose tackle Isaiah Buggs from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He did start in 10 games this year, so he has some experience on that defensive line. Nicholas Morrow looked like he's going to be back as well. But it's going to be a lot of keys to victory when it comes to this game. We have to run the ball effectively. Keep Joe Burrow off the football field. You got to make sure Jamar Chase does not get a deep ball. Joe Mixon can't catch the ball at the backfield. How do we contain that? Defensively, we got to get pressure. Offensively, we got to run the ball with Josh Jacobs. He's been playing well the last 4 weeks. We got to get these receivers a little bit more involved. I understand Waller been out for so many weeks. He's probably, got that rust off of him. Hunter Renfrow got to get more involved, and we got to get creative on offense because we shouldn't even been. That game should have been out of reach in the fourth quarter. But there goes Greg Olsen running the same. This is how I know you're not a great coordinator in the NFL when you run the same exact play back-to-back times and you think is going to work. Absolutely not, Greg.
And don't forget Spiley too against a team that's seen that like early and throughout the season.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like you just first you run the ball with Mariota, cool. And then you had the same person come in motion and then you give it to Renfro. They knew the play were coming because you did it back-to-back times. So keys to victory is staying disciplined. We were really good on penalties. We only had 3 penalties that whole game against the Chargers, which was very outstanding. And we just gotta play smart football, play smart Raider football, and we move on.
And spotlight too. Don't forget the 4th down issue too at the same time.
Right. I said that in the beginning, though, too, Robert. I said no fourth quarter collapses.
Like that. Like,
no fourth quarter collapses. We cannot have a 4th and 21 for a touchdown. We just
that's the same thing with the Eagles. We're not there the first half. We're there for the second half. That's the one.
It's not even about the first or the second half when it comes to the Eagles. I think it's just y'all coming with a game plan. And then that game plan flips. Like, huh? Like, we didn't practice this all week. Like, what is going on? So that's how it is with the Raiders, too. It's just like everything we prepare for is get thrown out the window when the game matters.
Yeah. I mean, both teams are in a tough one this weekend. Both teams.
Yeah, but I think we really got a chance to beat Cincinnati. I'm kind of happy that we actually won the game because if we wouldn't have won it, we would have tied.
They'll play Kansas City.
Playing Kansas City this weekend instead of Cincinnati. So I'd rather take Cincinnati, where I know their offensive line is banged up, than take a Kansas City Chiefs team that has been hot for the last 8 weeks, damn near.
Yeah. I mean, definitely.
And the 2 teams are considered underdogs in the wild card.
So here's my thing about it. So you guys were right to win then. That timeout kind of saved you.
Well, I think this is according to Rich Pisacci. He said in his presser, he said we was going to do something different until Brandon Stanley called the timeout. So basically, it looked like we're going to go for the tie, but thank God we did. Because, man, I am going to be a stressful Raiders fan if we would have played Kansas City this weekend. I would have been like Vince McMahon, no chance in hell. It's no chance in hell.
So, and then the fact that Brandon Staley's getting his ass ripped.
Yeah, so you would have played the Chiefs. Who would the Chargers played?
The Chargers would have played Buffalo.
Oh.
But now we see
So what we would have to do is that the Raiders would have to go to Kansas City and the Chargers would have to go to Buffalo.
So, yeah, I guess.
But hey, the Chargers is sitting on their couch. They're all right now.
Yeah. So, Robert, let me ask you this real quick. Your thoughts about the whole Tobias Harris thing with the trade packages or trade discussions with Ben Simmons. Give me your thoughts.
I was going to – the fact that they're even added him into the trade packages with 2.5 is not surprising, but I had a feeling it was going to come sooner or later rather than later because at times Tobias can be is very inconsistent. He's just one of those players. Like on a good night, he can be like 22, 25 a night on a good day, on a good night. But if you've seen on those bad nights, like less than 10 points and probably not showing up. So to be honest, I do think I think he should have been traded, or we should be. I'm not surprised. That's all I have to say. I am not really surprised.
He's untradeable with that contract.
But you never know what team.
I wouldn't say untradeable. It's just that with that contract, you gotta find a team that has the cap space for that contract.
Yeah, try to match it.
Yeah.
Who will match that? I heard. I put it in my video today. The Hawks. The Hawks are interested in both.
Y'all really want to do that?
I mean,
that's my only problem.
John Collins or Bogdanovich.
You really want Tobias Harris to team up with Trae Young? That's going to be crazy.
Especially to the team that we lost in 7 games at the same time.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's because of number 25. It's because of 25.
But the fact that the Hawks are drawing interest in for 2.5 is, I find that very funny. It's very funny to me that they want him.
Yeah.
Look, that Ben Simmons, that they want Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
Because Ben Simmons is going to pull a Kevin Durant. he can't beat him, join him.
I can't. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even say that. What I will say is this, though. I will say that it might work with Ben Simmons in Atlanta because the pressure ain't on him. He don't have to play point guard
because he already got one.
He already has one that can score. So I feel like Ben Simmons will play a different role. He will play a different role with the Hawks than he will with the Sixers.
Because like the Hawks, they're a little bit bad defensively, and that's what the Hawks are lacking.
That's why the Hawks want to go after Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons can play defense. He's just offensively, he's just not great. But if you bring in a defensive player like Ben Simmons and you team him up with a scorer like Trae Young, that's points off turnovers.
Yeah, but they're going to have to give up a lot. Well, not a lot.
Well,
they would definitely have to.
That's Daryl Morey. That's Daryl Morey's fault that he has to give up a lot.
No, not him. I'll turn it the other way around. Like, they're going to have to give up John Collins and some shooters. We're not going to just give, like, John Collins and draft picks. I'm going to want shooters out of that. Give me Bogdanovich, Kevin Huerter.
Well, I mean,
or maybe Reddish.
See what Kevin Huerter, they just re-signed him to a max contract.
Yeah, that's
so you're taking a max you traded for a max contract for a max contract. That's a lot of money that got to be moved somewhere.
Yeah,
like maybe having John Collins, I think he really helped a little bit. He
reminds me of Blake Griffin. He's a highlight man.
He's a better shooter than Blake is.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know.
Let me pull up the stats again. I'm actually curious.
I mean, if you look at John Collins' stats to the years that Blake Griffin was good, they have to be identical.
John Collins shot 54% from the field, 42.7 from three this year.
Yeah, but that's this year, right?
Yeah, and then I'm looking at Blake Griffin.
Look at Blake Griffin's stats when he was with the Clippers.
Okay. Even though I think his best season was with the Pistons.
Yeah, but his best years was with the Clippers. His best years was with the Clippers.
Yeah. So his shooting is like 1 year he shot 40% from three and 50% from the field. That was the year
almost identical to John Collins. It's kind of almost like identical, but the problem with John Collins is he's not going to be able to get those pick and rolls alley-oops like Trae Young used to get them. So my question is to him is that do he really feel like that he needs those pick and roll alley-oops to get points? Because if he's a good shooter like that, and I don't even think he's a better shooter than Tobias. I don't think so.
Let me look at Tobias. I looked it up. I don't think
he's a better shooter than Tobias. I just think that Tobias. This is my thing. People can say whatever they want about Tobias Harris. I understand this is a slump year, but you got to think about it too. If we trade him and he goes off in the second half of this season, and this is what I was saying to you, mentioned the group chat. If he goes off in the second half of the season, the Sixers is going to be so regretful.
Oh, I know. I said that in my video today.
Tobias Harris, because Tobias Harris got snubbed from the All-Star team last year after averaging about 21, 23 points a game out on the still being on the same side as Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. So, yeah, I mean,
this season, Tobias Harris is averaging 18.4 points per game, 8 boards, 4 assists, shooting 46% from field and 30% from three.
I mean, it's still good numbers. It's still good numbers for Tobias. It's not the best numbers that we saw from Tobias, but I just think that if we give up Tobias Harris, who else do we have to help Embiid?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Because it's like if we lose, and look, and I said this too. Like Tobias may be inconsistent, but he can still give you points on a nightly basis. Even on a bad day, like bad nights, like even give you like for me, I think 15 is probably much is that. What was it? What's the word? I mean, the worst night he had was like 9 points. I think is on one bad night, if I'm not mistaken. But the fact that he could also give you like 20 plus in certain games helps too. I mean, I don't know. I like Tobias. I think he actually is learning how to really hold himself accountable. It's like, look, I'm not be as consistent as I want to be, but I still think we still can be screwed without if we do trade Tobias. That's just the way if you look at it, face reality. Because Embiid needs a lot more help than just having Tobias on the floor.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Right now, in my opinion, Seth Curry's been like shooting lights out. And that's bad for your second or third option. That's bad.
And not to mention we're keeping Charlie. We're keeping Charlie Brown Jr. I was like, good grief.
Yep, we're keeping Charlie Brown Jr. I forgot to mention that.
It happens. It's part of the business. You know what I'm saying? So
he does have potential. I'll say that. It's tough. It's really tough to look at how this team is, especially the bench, because like Niang's been has been producing. There are times where he may not. Sometimes he which happens to a lot of teams, but just look at the Sixers in general. I mean, you still got Drummond, who's a pretty good backup. So, for me,
yeah, but how long would Drummond stay like this? I remember this play-by-play we were doing, me, you, and Key, and you were
true.
Like, dude, we got to sign Andre Drummond now. And I'm like, dude, it's only the third or fourth game, and I'm like, I don't know what he's going to be months from now, so I still don't know. But
Niang, that's true. I mean. He's more. I think he's entering his prime and more an athletic monster than Dwight would ever be.
Honestly, I feel like I think Andre Drummond is reviving his career because how he hustles on the basketball court. Something that Dwight Howard didn't do for us, for the Philadelphia 76ers. He didn't do that. He didn't do that much for us when it comes. I mean, yes, rebounds. You can say that. Scoring, no, but DeAndre Drummond has more athleticism than Dwight Howard when it comes to scoring. I'm not saying overall.
And Drummond's a good free throw shooter too.
And Drummond can back you down and bully you and dunk on you if he felt like it. Same, Dwight Howard can't do that no more.
And difference is Dwight Howard's not that. Even Drummond's is a good free throw shooter. Because that Dwight Howard was decent to say the least.
Right. I don't know. I just feel like with Drummond, I think he runs the floor better than Dwight Howard does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what I've been saying about the bench. The bench is there, like it's inconsistent. I don't like this bench that much. I don't. And yes, even with court mods, I don't like this bench. I
wasn't going to say enough about court miles, but what I'm going to say is that a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen. I'm just putting it on record that Spotlight did not say nothing about court miles. It was Mitch. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I feel like with the 76ers bench, this is my issue with it. I understand that protocols, you got to switch lineups, you got to switch that. But you gotta go with what works. You just can't throw people out there and expect to gel. If you don't have those rotations in practices, how do you think those rotations is going to work in a game? So you got to really look at Doc Rivers on how he's managing this bench. Because just imagine if Ben Simmons was still here, right? Just say he was playing. Look at that bench now. Tyrese Maxey, you got Korkmaz, you got Name,
Drummond.
You got Drummond. That's 4 good bench players right there if Ben Simmons was playing right now.
You forgot about Shake Milton.
The one person, Shake Milton is in that rotation. He's still a part of that bench. But this is what kills me. And I know people might ridicule me for this. And I do not care. But Danny Green needs to go to the bench.
Thank you.
I might make it.
And this is why I think just because offensively he needs to go to the bench. I am not complaining about him defensively at all because he's a great defender for us. But I think makes us look like Ben Simmons all over again. That's exactly what it looks like. The
You can
difference
say the
between
same thing with
Danny
Thibault.
Green, see, the thing about Thibault have a chance. He's young. He still have a chance to develop an
He's still
offensive
growing.
game. He's still growing. Unlike Danny Green, you were like a three-time NBA champion. You don't have an offense at all. You didn't have an offense. The best time you only really had an offensive game when you was in San Antonio.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
last time you really had a great.
What was that? 2014, that 2013, 2014 team.
Yes, and that's
So
the last
like
time
Kawhi Leonard,
had a great offense.
Like LaMarcus Aldridge, I think was still part of that team. Tony Parker, I think was still there. Who else was? I mean, I know
Kawhi was a part of that team.
Yeah, Kawhi. I think Ginobili was part of that too in recent memory.
I'm not too sure about Ginobili.
So there's actually breaking news. Well, it's not really breaking, but it's for the wrestling. Apparently, they're reporting to Bruce Prichard now, NXT 2.0 for the creative team. Goolie, if you heard that.
Goolie probably not caring about that right now. You know, Goolie. I told Goolie to.
I think Goolie's still doing his happy dance because of the.
I'm all elite, man. I don't care about WWE. I'm on Team All Elite, man.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
WWE has not gotten a dime out of me since I canceled my membership 3 years ago. So you know who accounts I've been using? I've been using Key in the Builders account on Peacock. Yep.
Mine comes for free. It was on the Comcast.
Yeah, but because you have cable, Key doesn't have cable. She just have internet. So
see, I didn't know that.
So technically, like I log into Key account and I just watch it there. They don't get WWE does not get a dime out of me. Not a dime. Ever since I think it had something to do with Roman Reigns, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody had to do something with Roman Reigns, and I canceled the WWE network afterwards. and I never restored it back.
Was that the leukemia thing?
No, this is way before the leukemia thing.
Oh, this was I know what you're talking about now.
Done it.
What, during the Shield days?
The Shield intro, yeah. When he had the Shield intro, I just Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but back to the Eagles.
Overrated champion.
Yeah, back to the Eagles, Robert. I didn't get your opinion on this. Jonathan Gannon's being interviewed by the Denver Broncos for the head coaching job.
Take him.
Just like that.
Just take him. I want him gone. Like, there's two other guys I can think of to make a good defensive coordinator. That's Nick Fangio and or Mike Zimmer.
Wow. Yo, he said just take him.
Because we need a veteran defensive coordinator. Because if you think about it, because it's like, I get it. I mean, Shane Steichen, he can stay as offensive coordinator because he's done a good job with their offense. Defensive wise, I do think we need a
coach offense.
Well, that too, but him and Steichen have done well with the offense. But defensive wise, we need a veteran defensive coordinator. If we can either get Fangio and or Mike Zimmer, I think we should be fine going forward. But for right now, just take him. I am done. I am done with these blown coverages and all this stupid shit. Like, and the fact that and don't have Fletcher Cox guarding screens, please. God damn it.
I think he stopped that. He stopped.
No, thank God. That still makes me mad. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, but hey, we're in the playoffs now. Just don't do any of that against Tampa Bay because Tom Brady will make you pay.
Pretty much. Tom Brady's a different animal in the postseason, but
he's just an animal in general. Like, would you rather?
And Mitch, you want to know what's funny? Because I was with an AK because somebody dropped the link that Pat McAfee did talk about Carson Wentz. Because
why?
Because I think he went off on Carson Wentz. If I'm not mistaken, about him.
Who?
Pat McAfee.
I think everybody went off on Carson Wentz, and I think everybody went off on Brandon Staley. So it ain't nothing new. But
I think Brandon Staley is more deserved because it's like. But then again, with the Raiders, hey, kicked you guys in another gear. So screw the tie. Let's go for a win and actually have a manageable chance.
Yeah, that's definitely true too. That's definitely true. Man.
So let me ask you guys this.
Okay.
Do you think the Eagles should have played the Rams? If the Eagles played the Rams, would you feel as confident as the Eagles playing the Buccaneers?
No.
To me, I feel like the Rams is overrated to some degree. But
Well, and that's the thing too. And you saw Matt Stafford play like not say like trash, but he was just off. And the 49ers, like they just made Stafford look like a complete chump. So I mean,
yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, where you hiding? Yeah, you're gonna be on MK in the morning on Saturday. Can't wait, man. I can't
That's
wait.
going to be fun. That's definitely going to be fun. We
Yeah,
got a lot of things coming up, man.
He just hit
NFL
400 subscribers, so congrats to him.
Congrats. Just keep grinding it out, fellas. Keep grinding it out. Y'all
just
definitely
like what Brodes said. I mean, dude, he's that guy. I love Brodes.
Yeah, Brodes was really dope. It was kind of happy to see Brodes, on the show today. I wish I was able to come up when he was up on here, but shout out to Brodes. Shout out to him.
Yeah, I mean, I had Eastwood on, I had RB on.
I don't have my other light up to do the green screen. My Mama Spotlight was watching us. That's why she asked me about the green screen. Mama Spotlight was watching this.
Cool. So
yeah,
do you think that
well, I do think it's against Tampa Bay. If we do run the ball efficiently, I think we should be fine. I mean, going against Tampa Bay.
Back.
Well, because I think Tampa Bay is a beatable team.
Right.
That's because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't like Mike Evans still hurt? I know are they still. I know some of them.
Mike Evans was hurt, but he went back in.
Okay.
So
Chris Godwin.
Godwin's gone. Antonio Brown, he's on another
we
planet.
all know all that ridiculous nonsense.
He's on
now my thing is this though. This is my thing. How would this Eagles offensive line go up against this front seven of the Buccaneers? That's where I think the matchup is where it's at. Is where this, even though this offensive line for Philadelphia has been great, but this is a Tom Brady team that know how to motivate players to get into the playoffs and play and kick it up another gear. We've seen it year in and year out with Tom Brady and football teams. I mean, Shaq Barrett is off the COVID list. He will be able to play on Saturday. So my question for Robert and Mitch is that what do you think offensively needs to happen to slow down this pass rush of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Run the game.
Pretty much. If you just run the football, like you'll gas out that defense. Like obviously, take the Raiders game for example. When they I want to even talk about the Raiders, but look at the Raiders were constantly running the football, and the defense and the pass rush we're starting to get gassed. If you can start doing that, I think the offensive line is going to hold up well against that front seven. But got to keep running the football.
To me, it goes up to Jalen Hurts. Because with his weapons, with his legs, that's another factor as well. His throwing is not the greatest, but he's able to hit the targets. Like his completion percentage is what? 65, 66, something like that?
Some of the high 60s, mid to high 60s.
Yeah. So to me, it goes up to Jalen Hurts because you got to go with the quarterback here. Like the captain. 61.3 actually. So it went down from the last time I checked a couple weeks ago. It did go down.
Okay, so I feel as though it's this. Even though you have to run the football, which I can actually agree on that. But I feel as this. I think you can't keep the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands too long.
You can't. I'm just saying.
You can't. Meaning that you gotta have people that could. You gotta have people that to run the wide receiver screens, halfbacks, slip screens, tight end delay screens, stuff like that to get this defense all balanced. You have to bring something different to the table if you want to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can't show the same thing that you shown 3 to 4 weeks ago when you was on this winning streak. Everything is on the table. It's win or go home. There's no next week. So if I am the Philadelphia Eagles, I would throw out every type of play that you can. If it execute, it execute. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's basically for me. Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball more than 30 times. He can't. He's got to throw at least 20 to 25.
It really depends on the play calling on why he can't throw it to 35 times. It really depends on the play calling. If you're going to keep throwing it deep, or you're going to keep throwing it intermediate, or he throws slants, or he throws screens and stuff like that. So you really got to really figure out the game plan, or you have to fit Jalen Hurts' strong suit. Understand he has the legs. He's very athletic. I can completely understand that. But at the same time, I do see you can get him on a rollout. You can get him on 5 to 7 yards. And you got to go to his strength. And that's what Nick Sirianni is going to have to go to, because even though you're running the ball effectively, it's going to open up, it's going to open up routes for receivers. And that's when receivers really got to come down with the ball, like the Jalen Reagors of the world, the Quez Watson of the world, the Dallas Goddard of the world. I know y'all just lost Tyree Jackson, another tight end. He's done for the year. So, I mean, y'all really going to have to buckle down. Y'all really want to buckle down, and whoever's Jason Kelce, you're the leader in that locker room. You got to get these kids motivated, man. You got to get these guys motivated to make an upset this weekend.
I mean, we already lost them. I think it's time to try to, like Spotlight said, we got to upset this Tampa Bay team.
I mean, there is 77% win. Like they're 8-point favorite. We thrive as underdogs. Like that was the whole thing for the Super Bowl run.
Right.
And with the Giants, I can't believe I'm saying this. They won the Super Bowl as a wild card. Like
it happens.
It happens. We've seen a few teams do it. Not just
but
the Giants not the division winners.
Brady. Giants did it against Brady though.
I think Brady gets twice, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Yeah. Giants beat him twice.
But you know why they beating Brady? Because of that front four. You get Tom Brady rattled, he's going to be a pissed off quarterback, meaning that he's not going to be able to focus. You've seen that night when they played the New Orleans Saints that got shut out at home. That front four. Look how they played against
the Jets. The Jets almost, even though the Jets blew the lead, but they were dominating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for majority of that game. And CJ Mosley, probably an underrated player on the Jets. I mean, kind of just get to the if you bring pressure, I mean, I think it brings, and this is the thing too. Like, if you bring pressure toward a quarterback, it kind of just brings like the what's the more look? It kind of it rattles them. Like it kind of makes them like so different. And this is why I think that's what and for the Raiders, I think that's what they need to do against Joe Burrow. It's got to bring a lot of pressure.
Well, okay, so I do got some news. Ian Rappaport tweeted out, officially a big win for the Broncos today in court, paving the way for new ownership. No obstacles remain. So technically we had some court issues on the reason why Broncos want to go and get their ownership out of town. So a statement from the Broncos president and CEO Joe Ellis, he said, "We're glad to put this issue behind us and move on closer to transition open ownership of the Denver Broncos, while our focus at this time is our head coaching search. We plan to make an announcement regarding the ownership shortly after the hire is completed." And this is a statement from Fenimore, attorney of Dan Riley, which was the former owner of the Denver Broncos. He said, "We are very," I don't know if it's Dan. I don't think Dan Riley was a former owner, but it says, "We are very pleased with the court's order today, terminating any right of our first refusal. The trustees will continue moving forward with the ownership transition process." So there's a lot going on in Denver right now.
I didn't even know they even had ownership problems. I did not read anything about ownership problems out in Denver.
That's what Ian Rappaport is so great for. That's why I kind of hate that I turn the post notifications on Twitter because of him. But that's where that source came from.
For me, I'm just like I turn my Twitter notifications off. Like I can't stand it.
Well, the thing about it is, if you have post notifications, that means whoever that person is that you follow and you turn on the notifications on their profile, then I don't have. That's why I don't have so many people followed on, not follow, but so many people with notifications on. I have like Shams, I have Bleacher Report, and I have Ian Rappaport and Adam Scheffner. They're the only 4 that I have. It's come for as far as like resources that you get out quickly. But
I have it for
content is a little bit different.
I have it for Woj.
My boy Raider Scout. Woj, I got post notifications for Woj on Instagram, not Twitter. So whatever he posts on Instagram, whatever he posts on Twitter, he posts it on Instagram. So
right. I've had it there. Yeah.
So damn, I just lost my train of thought. God darn it, Mitch.
all those Giants. I know Giants fans are happy that Joe Judge got fired.
Yeah, how would you feel? How do you feel about that? I didn't even ask you about that, Robert.
I had a feeling it was going to come sooner rather than later, because this is why I think Giants. I feel like the Giants kind of contradict themselves of bringing Daniel Jones back and Joe Judge, but then again, now we're seeing Joe Judge get fired. It's like, make up your minds. Do you want to keep him or do you want to fire him? It's like, come on.
But for me, I wanted him to stay because he's a Giants and they were losing with him.
No. But he needed to go. Time for him
he deserved it. He deserved it. When you go for it on your own 3-yard line on the quarterback sneak, bro, you definitely deserve to be fired.
Mitch,
I just didn't want to safety like what happened in Chicago. Positive Philly, what's up?
I say something. Okay, listen, I don't mean to come in here and cut everybody off.
You're good.
I got some great news, guys. This is unreal. So I was talking. Just listen. First of all, I got to commend you and congratulate you on the show you had with Brodes. Great job, great work. I'm proud of you for that. That is
thanks, man.
So a few minutes ago, I was on the live with AK. So I have a friend who's a Buffalo Bills fan. For a brief summary of it, she is a owner and founder of a NFL Elite. It's called Elite Superfans. Basically, what it is it's a nonprofit.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going?
I know where you're going, but I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to let you make your announcement. I know where you're going. I heard of this before.
She is she runs a nonprofit organization called Elite Superfans with a bunch of NFL fans. I've met. I haven't met, but I want to say I've crossed paths on social media. I've became friends. I don't even talk to these people, but I'm friends with them if I need them for shows or something. I basically, and I'm not trying to flex here in any way possible, but I know people from every single NFL team.
I figured because you're TikTok.
Because of this group, which Mitch, you got to get on TikTok. But basically, I talked to her, and we are going to have a raffle. She has a mini Eagles helmet. This Buffalo Bills fan has a mini Eagles helmet for us, signed by an Eagles player. I'm not sure who it's signed by. She's going to get that information for me later. She believes she's still on the team. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, if you have no idea what I am talking about, is we are going to have a mini raffle for a mini Eagles helmet in honor of Philly Foothill's son. For those of y'all who don't know, Philly Foothill's a long life Eagles fan, long time Eagles creator, lost his 26-year-old son this past Saturday, right an hour before the Eagles game. They have no idea what happened. But listen, I'm not going to come on here and say this is great, because it's not. What is happening right now in the Eagles community, it is not great at all. But in a way, we have made it great. If that makes sense. Obviously, it's a hard thing for them to deal with. It's a hard thing for us to deal with. But we have support from Giants fans, Raiders fans, Panthers fans. We have support from the NFL on this. And this is what this is all about. Listen, I'm going to always continue to hate on the Dallas Cowboys. I will never have respect for the Dallas Cowboys. From the day I was born, or the day I got into football, whatever, until the day I die, I will always hate the Dallas Cowboys. But I don't hate the Cowboys fans. I don't. And I'm going to actually vote for Super Cowboy in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's an inductee. So
as of right now, they've raised $1,240 for the grave and for the burial. The goal is 5,000. So I'm doing a
Mitch?
stream at 8 o'clock with AK and Vic, and we're gonna have to link up. Huh?
Did you donate?
I can't. So I'm just saying out as much as I can. Like, I'm doing a stream tonight. I'm gonna have people come on, and we're gonna get this to this goal, man. We're gonna get to it. So
for real.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, if you donate, say you donate $10, we raise $200. We do a raffle. The money that we raise goes to the GoFundMe, of course. I'm sure if you want to be in it, I'll talk to AK some more. You Venmo AK. Say $10. Those $10, we raffle it off. The winner, an Eagles fan. I'm not even saying it's going to be an Eagles fan. It's great if it is an Eagles fan. This is an opportunity for all Eagles fans to win this helmet, and whatever else we can include in there. It doesn't matter. The fact that I have a Buffalo Bills fan, the most kind-hearted soul, the most kind-hearted Buffalo Bills fan I've ever met, is helping us raffle off this mini Eagles helmet, who is signed by, as of right now, a random Eagles player, but we won't know who it's signed by. And we're going to raffle this off to an Eagles fan, and all the money that we raise will go to Foothills. That's just all I wanted to come on here and say, Mitch.
Yep, there you go. And breaking news: Jameson Williams just tore his ACL.
That is true.
Man.
Yep, it came. Yep. So, Raider Earn, you talking about getting a wide receiver in the first round? And you wanted to get him? Screw that. Scratch that now.
Hey, Spotlight. Are you the one who runs Spotlight Sports Network?
Yes, I do.
Yep, it's him and Key.
Yep,
Key in the building.
And Key in the building. Yep.
So
go ahead.
No, you can go. You can go. I'm just gonna wrap up the show. You finish.
I was on Mitch's show the other day. I don't know if you saw MK in the morning. And I'm really trying to grow myself. I'm really trying to get involved in one of these big industries: Spotlight Sports Network, Northeast Streaming Sports, DSM Media. I don't know if you're familiar with those two.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Northeast Streaming Sports or DSM Media?
DSM, I only know from
DSM. I know a little. I heard of DSM a little bit. I don't know too much about them, but I heard some things about them. Not too much.
What about Northeast Streaming Sports?
Nope.
No.
I think I heard of them.
Because DSM, the only reason why I know about them is because El Parcell, the Philly sports guy, the Eagle super fan.
El Parcero.
Yeah. Because that's how I found out about them.
Right, I found out through him. He's in DSM Media. The Philly sports guy actually works with Northeast Streaming Sports.
Oh, I didn't know that. I gotta talk to him.
So basically what I'm asking is, what kind of qualifications do I need to have to be a part of Spotlight Sports Network?
We will definitely talk about that behind the scenes. I really don't do business talk on a live stream. If you want to Instagram me personally, just go to SL Sports Network on Instagram. And we'll definitely talk there, video chat, text, whatever. I really don't do the business parts of it. It's not really a lot of it's not really too much qualifications, but I mean it's something that is required, but it's not nothing. It's not nothing overboard. Like,
does it require 1K followers? Does it require 1K subscribers?
No, absolutely not. If that's the case, then I wouldn't have Robert up here.
That's true.
You want to have Robert?
You know what I'm saying? Like, as if I got the SC Experience, my guy that does all Southern Cal sports. He doesn't have 1K. We have people that don't have 1K.
We have people that don't
I was at 200 on my old account. I got banned. Listen, don't think this is going to be a problem for me now, because it's not. But I got 7 copyright strikes on my old account, on my old YouTube.
And that's where I come into play, because I'm really big on what to put on YouTube and what not to put on YouTube, because I studied the analytics and I studied the actual YouTube Academy where
but don't
content creators to grow.
Don't think that that's going to happen again, because if I already am kind of affiliated, a tailgate that I go to, they allow me to do my live on their Facebook page.
Okay. Okay,
you
yeah,
go.
we'll definitely figure. See,
So I do
Facebook is
that.
a little bit more lenient than YouTube, depending on what it
But
is.
I'm able to,
we'll
I'm
talk
able to
about it.
continue that if I get something, if I get an agreement with you guys, right? Like I'm able to continue going live on the tailgate page and on my personal pages as well, like what Mitch does.
Yeah, absolutely. I can say this, that we do have a weekly schedule. We do have meetings once a week about that schedule, and then we go off that. We do a lot of, I mean, as of right now, we're doing play-by-plays until sports slow down. But we do still have our podcast shows like MK Headlines and Philly Sports Talk podcast. We got 7,200 seconds tonight.
I have some ideas.
Yeah.
I have some ideas for myself. So if I DM you, I'm going to DM you on my Positive Philly account, the one under this name, so you can shoot me a follow and get to know me better.
Awesome.
My name is Michael, by the way. That's my real name.
I'm just gonna go about Positive Philly, man. Everybody calls me Spotlight on here, so you go about Positive Philly. You are good, man.
He just hit 4K on TikTok. He just hit it like last week.
Well, you need to grow. You need to help us grow the Spotlight Sports Network.
3 days ago. You all need help growing?
Oh, it was 3 days. Yeah.
Listen. I just started that account for the Spotlight Sports Network. So
do y'all post?
The thing about it is, as a CEO of this, I do a lot when it comes to thumbnails, overlays, intros. When do I ever have time to get like it just sucks that I don't have the time to do it again with breaking news from Instagram to Facebook and Twitter. Like,
yeah, he got a lot.
Doing all of that in an 8-hour shift at work. So
if you want to test my skills, if you want to see how I do first, you let me practice. You check out my TikToks. You let me practice. I can be the TikTok. I'll tell you what. I have 3 TikToks right now, 2 of which I'm using. God forbid my TikTok gets banned. Like I get banned from TikTok, I have a backup account. You always have to have that backup account. I have a 3rd TikTok that I don't really use anymore. If you want me to help you, if you want me to run the Spotlight Sports Network TikTok, I could do that for you. Mitch has seen my TikToks.
Yeah,
that's to the plate.
Yeah. Mitch has seen the work and the grind that I put in on my TikToks.
Yeah,
and listen, I'm gonna need help with it. I'm not gonna lie. It's not gonna be an easy job for me to run 2 TikToks, 24 hours, 7 days a week, 24 hours and 365. But I'm one of those people. If I tell you I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And listen,
he is. I've known this guy for like a while.
Like, how long have I known you, Mitch?
I gotta go. Maybe? It's gotta be longer than that. I feel like 4 or 5. Yeah, definitely. So, let's wrap it up here. We're going a little bit overtime, but Positive Philly, I'm grateful you could come on, man. You're one of my favorite people to talk to. Like, you're one of my favorite people to talk to, dude.
And I just want to throw this out there, Positive Philly, for you saying that about raising the money for the GoFundMe. I'm definitely going to talk to the Raider content creators, especially the bigger ones that I'm affiliated with.
I got a lot of respect for Raider Nation. Well, hold on. Let me ask you, Mitch, if you got to end the show, go ahead.
No. I was going to say this real quick. I don't know if you knew, but the whole Henry Ruggs situation, and the Raider Nation made a GoFundMe account, and we raised, as a nation, from YouTube content creators and all the fans that have been on each live, $300,000 in 24 hours.
For you, and went to Henry. Who did the money go to?
The money went to the family of the lady that Henry Ruggs killed in the car accident.
Wow. Props to Raider Nation, man.
So,
do you know who?
Spotlight. I'm doing a stream for it at 8:00.
I will just send me the link for the YouTube channel, and I will post it on my community post on Spotlight Raiders Talk.
Hey.
Yep.
Okay, we can talk about that another time. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Hey.
All right.
Listen, Spotlight. I've known you for 3 minutes, and we're already best friends. I can always Philly Sports.
He's good. Well, there he goes.
I don't know if the phone died or not.
There he is.
Oh, there we go. Phone call.
Yeah.
Or he's probably checking, or probably notifications, because that's what happens when you check notifications and you swipe down and make sure it's screen black. So I know that for
that's why I don't do StreamYard on my phone. That is why. And there you go.
That's what happened. See, I have 2 phones, so that's why when I do go live on the phone for StreamYard, I'll be on this one. Oh yeah, just let you know. Go to spotlightsportsgear.com or just go to the link in the description if you want to get a cell phone case. They're right here. You see this right here? Ooh.
Yeah, everyone, go check out the merch, guys. Like seriously, like spotlightsportsgear.com. Everything's there. Like we got mugs, sweatshirts,
Like you
hoodies.
name it, mouse pads.
Yep.
Basement. I mean, we pretty much got everything.
I'm gonna update it too because they got a canvas where you could get the shirt in the pants. So I'm about to update the website tonight.
And guys, here's the video for the merch.
So
All right,
guys, go check that merch out.
Hey, you gotta rep the Spotlight Sports Network, and to rep all of us too. That's on the network as well.
Yeah, all the links are in the description as well. So make sure you subscribe to everybody up here on the Spotlight Sports Network. And again, we want to thank Hunter Brody from Brodes Media coming on to the show. We really do appreciate you coming on MK Headlines, man. That I just wanted to, bring my appreciation up here because I do everything behind the scenes. I know I could be Vince McMahon some goddamn times, but I just want to show some love this time, man. I'm sorry.
But look, I'm gonna try to get more people to come on MK Headlines. You have my word.
Yes, absolutely. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll catch you all later. Peace.